Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I have my August goal setting intention blah 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 video. So if you missed it, did I post over here? I think I posted over here that I had kind of taken a leave of absence, not on purpose, but life got ahead of me. My brother got married. I've been trying to play catch up on my Jolly Fat Elf channel and trying to get ahead on my Jolly Fat Elf channel. I'm releasing card kits and all sorts of things. So this channel kind of got put back on the back burner, but we're back. So we're going to talk about some intentions, goal setting in this video. I'm also going to talk about a way of eating thing, but I'm not going to mention weight, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So if you're new here, new to my channel, hello. This channel has been rocking now since like March of 2017. I started keto then because I was seeking a diagnosis for whatever had happened. I'd gotten a diagnosis of Myasthenia Gravis. Did you guys realize it's been 6 years since that happened? 6 years. I was just thinking of that today. It's like, holy crap, it's been a long time, and a lot of stuff has happened in my life ever since. So I'm going to talk to you about what I want to do coming for the month of August. Now, I am back to vlogging. I'm posting a vlog every 2 days. So hopefully this will go up on Wednesday. That vlog will go up on Thursday. And then the next vlog you see will be on Friday. And we'll try to get back into like the every other day routine. I don't do enough or eat enough for you guys to see like videos once a day. I mean, literally, I posted a short because I literally had one thing to eat that day. And people are like, why are you sharing this on the internet? And I'm like, because I want to, that's why. So yeah, what else do I need to tell you? Okay, so I'm not weighing in for the month of August. You guys know, I've mentioned this before. If you've been with me for forever, you know that it's really easy for me to become fixated on the scale, on the number. And a lot of people feel this way anyway, but my therapist and I were talking because we're both Taurus, and I was like, well, you know, like as a Taurus, when we set this goal and then we don't achieve it, I know, I said, especially for me, it's like, well, I didn't do it, so I burn the house, like burn it all down, it's not happening. Or I get hyper fixated on it, and when I gain, 5, 10, 15 pounds in 2 days, which can happen when I'm retaining water or there's a lot of inflammation, etc. Anyway, I forgot to mention, it's hot as balls in Texas. We're on like day 23 or 24 of over 100-degree heat. It's like 107 where I am today. These lights are hot, so I have the fan on, and I apologize if that's going to bug you, but it's hot. Okay. We're under a severe heat advisory. We have one day, which is now next Wednesday, where we're supposed to be under 100. So yeah, anyway, my brother really lucked out because they chose to get married outside in southern Oklahoma in July, but that was the one day that we've had that was like 90 degrees, and we were all in the shade. It was really quick, so it was awesome. And I had posted a couple of pictures on my community tab, so if you're interested in seeing that, check it out. Oh, I'm also selling the strawberry dress. I have a size 3 and a size 4. If you're interested, just let me know. Okay, moving right along. So I've decided that I'm not going to weigh in for the month of August. My therapist agrees. It's a good idea to kind of take a step back. But I went to her and said, I said, I want to stop calling them goals. I said, I want to share with you my intentions for the month of August. I said, I think calling it goal and not completing what I set out to do is more detrimental on my mental health than a lot of things, because I'm a Taurus. I'm not a perfectionist, but I am someone that has to see something to completion. So if I start something, then I want to finish it. So, and then she shared with me a book, and we'll talk about it in just a second. So I picked 4 areas to focus on. Now, if you guys missed it, my word of the year for 2023 is mindful. And in that video, I talked about all of the areas in my life that I wanted to be mindful. And we're going to talk about most of them in this video. Okay, so apologize, but it's hot. I'm hot. I like this makeup look though, with this pink. Ooh, fire. I don't know why I have to wear eyelashes, or I just look like I have no eyeballs. So anyway, yes. Okay, so before we get into that, let me give you a few updates. I meet tomorrow. I'm filming this on the 1st. I meet tomorrow with a genetic counselor via telehealth. So when I signed up and rescheduled through the scheduler, she's like, where do you want to go? And I said, probably neurology. And she called me today and was like, no, he says since you have a family history of pancreatic cancer that you need to go with someone who deals with cancer. And I said, fine. And I said, does that mean we're only going to talk about cancer? And she said, no, he'll go over everything with me. But I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't do it today. So I do it next Wednesday. And I was able to reschedule my doctor's appointment so the next day. So I will have my results, be able to go to the doctor and say, here, this is what I talked about yesterday. Okay, hope that makes sense. You guys, I am so flippin' excited. Once they reached out to me, I got the right number and they reached out to me. They were like, yeah, we can get you in the next couple of days. I was like, what? She said, now, if we needed to do testing for you, we'd have to go through your regular doctor, etc. She said, but since you're coming to us just to discuss results, then we can do it. So I sent in my results. Hopefully they got all of them. The ones yesterday were huge files. File types I've never heard of before, specifically for genomes, etc. So if this is a successful appointment, meaning that they can decipher it and they feel like I, spent my money wisely, then I will recommend the kit that I use. But until that happens, I'm going to reserve right to say, yes, it was worth my money, or no, it wasn't. And it's all going to depend on it's all going to depend on this visit. So there's that. I don't know. I've shown them before. I think I'll pop up a picture. I've developed these spots of hypopigmentation. So rather than being like dark or red or whatever, they are white. They're not big. They don't itch. They don't hurt. But what I've come to notice is that they change sizes. So I think it was Kate that mentioned lipodema, not lipoderma, but lipo something. I don't know, but I also saw that it could be vascular. And one thing that I've noticed is that my veins have been swollen. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but it feels like my veins have been swollen and they've been really, really dark. So I called to get a dermatologist appointment and they were like, we can't see you until like mid-October. And I was like, so I moved up my regular doctor's appointment. I will see him next week. So genetic counselor on Wednesday, regular doctor next week to discuss that. And I have a couple other things on the list. But yeah, so I forgot to call and set up my colonoscopy. God dang it. I did so well. I also called and rescheduled or postponed my jury duty. So yay. So that's on the 17th, I'm having a bilateral facet injection, which means they go in, they basically, it's like lidocaine. They inject the lidocaine into the nerve, and if you get, 75 or more % relief, depending on your insurance, then they can do a second set, and then you can work your way towards a rosatomy. Because I thought I was going to have jury duty on the 15th, I had to reschedule my spine surgeon appointment, so that's going to be at the end of the month. So it's good because it gives me a little bit of time to just calm down about it, and that's why some of the things that I talked to my therapist about yesterday just kind of make more sense. Okay, so as we move into these, as a reminder that you don't have to agree with my beliefs. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to. You don't also have to feel like you need to announce your departure. This is not an airport. Go live your life. Do what you need to do. But I'm going to be talking about some things that seem to be controversial, which makes zero sense to me. But what ifs? What ifs? Okay. So one area that I want to say, so anyway, going back to intentions, she said, oh, I really like that because there's a book called Atomic Habits. And if I can find it, I'll link it down below. I'm not buying that book yet because I still haven't read the other book, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But she said there's a workbook, and she kind of walked through it with me because we meet on Zoom. And I was like, oh yeah, a lot of these are some of those habits that are already fit within those habits that are talked about and spoken about in the workbook. So we're going to start with emotional. So I have emotional mental health, physical kind of health wellness, financial, and then relationships. So those are the 4 areas that I am focusing on for the month of August. Starting with emotional mental, I want to start meditating once a day, at least once a day for at least 5 to 10 minutes. And I was on Instagram the other night scrolling, as you do, and I got this pop-up where this person was talking about meditation. And in the comments, there were several Christians who were talking about how meditation is witchcraft, blah, 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 blah. And I saw someone respond in the most elegant way possible. And I knew that I was meant to see that, reel and see that comment, because I've mentioned before that I've said, like, if you're showing me a sign, I need a big old, like, put it on a billboard, knock me upside the head with it. And the comment said, praying is asking God for something. Or, like talking to God. Meditating is listening to God. And I loved that distinction. I loved that whole comment. I loved all of it. So I'm not sure why Christians I just have this kind of, I don't know what's going on with Christianity right now, you guys. I don't understand it. I don't know why we've moved on to such extreme, there's so much what am I trying to say? It's so extreme. People's vitriol is so extreme and completely against the teachings of Christ. I said it. I said what I said. I did it. Okay? Okay. With that being said, I feel like I've been drawn to meditating and connecting more with the spiritual side of things. So that doesn't have to mean that I'm a Wiccan, but even if I was, it wouldn't be a big deal. It just means that I want to get back towards the teaching of my ancestry. And my ancestors were Native American. And Christianity was not what they believed until Christianity moved to North America and people were slaughtered and children were moved into homes, and Christianity was basically forced onto American Indians. They lost their lives. It was either comply or die. So you have to remember that Christianity is as new in the United States as the United States is. And I never understood this thought that Christianity is the end-all be-all, because the Pilgrims came to America to escape religious persecution because they wanted to be able to live their faith and practice their faith the way that they wanted to, not make it like law. This isn't like, the Bible isn't the Constitution. We're a democracy, not a theocracy, okay? Again, believe what you want. Believe what you want, but whatever you believe should have no bearing on what happens to me and what happens in my life. So anyway, I want to start meditating. Along that same thing, I want to start doing a tarot pull every day. Again, I know that people are going to quote the Bible. The Bible says, well, you know what? The Bible says a lot of stuff that I'm sure it didn't say before it was translated. There is a documentary, I believe it's called 1941, that shares that in 1941, the Catholic Church changed the passage that Christians like to quote so much about men should not lay with men, from men should not lay with young boys to men shall not lay with men. Changes the whole the concept, doesn't it? The whole context. And all of the years that the Catholic Church hid that young boys were being abused by priests. So don't come at me with the Bible says, no, I don't want to hear it. My other thing is that tarot is about listening to your guides. If you believe in the Bible and you believe in the teachings of Revelations, there's not been a rapture. So we have literal spirits on the planet right now. We have spirits who may have been, we've lived with them before, or maybe they're people that we've lost, like my grandmother, or we have angels. And how do you think they speak to us other than meditation and listening? And I don't find that tarot is necessarily for fortune telling. Some people use it that way. I've had my cards read pretty often, actually, to be quite honest, because I want guidance on making decisions. It's like I've never asked when I'm going to die. I've never asked if I'm going to win $1 million. I've said, is this move, like, am I going to get this promotion? And if so, should I accept? Is this going to happen? Like, is this going to happen? And, or like, where's my decision? Which way do I need to go with this decision? So for me, tarot isn't about fortune telling. Tarot is about listening to your spirit guides. It's about listening to the angels that are around you every day. So again, believe what you want to believe. I don't care. I 100% do not care. What you practice and what you choose to believe is on you. But since this is my channel, it says At Home with Misty down below, and people have requested that I talk about it, I'm going to share with you. And these are two of my biggest intentions for the month of August. I have been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and talking to my aunt, who also goes that route, and just being like, all of these signs, like I'm being shown signs that this is something that I need to do. I'm going to do it. And if I find that it's harmful or destructive to me or to my mental health or to my emotional health or my relationships with God or Jesus or whatever I believe, then I may step back. But I'm going to do it. So those are my two intentions for mental, emotional health, dealing with like prayer, etc. The other one is to finally crack into The Body Keeps the Score. So if you're unfamiliar, my therapist recommended, when we very first started talking to each other, a book called The Body Keeps the Score. And it's about how trauma, childhood trauma, adult trauma, etc. Like if you haven't taken care of this traumatic trauma in your life, it can manifest as illnesses. It can manifest as autoimmune diseases. It can manifest as a lot of different things. And I have made no secret that I suffered at the hands of my mother. The woman who gave birth to me hated me and treated me like absolute garbage for 34 years of my life before I finally said, enough is enough, I'm walking away. And if nothing else came from seeing my aunt after 23 years, it was validation that I was right in what I was feeling. So I have put off now for 8 months. Well, I think I started talking to her in February. So I've put off now for 6 months cracking into this book, because it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a lot. And so she's like, you don't have to. I was like, I know. I said, but I feel like I need to at least read the first chapter. So if you are somebody else who wants to read this book along with me, let me know. We can do like a little small group, like a book club or something like that. We can do it through Instagram. We can, however you guys would be interested in doing it. Or if you just want to hear my thoughts on it and how I'm working through it with my therapist, I'll be happy to share. But that is, and I told her, I was like, I have to read the first chapter. And Rob's like, yeah, well, she recommended it for a reason. I was like, I know. I said, my issue, part of it is the subject matter, but the other issue is that I cannot read nonfiction. Like, I bought the Obesity Code. I bought both books by Dr. Fung, and I could not. Because it's just like, and like I have another one on my Kindle called The Empowered Empath. I haven't been able to read that one either. So I need to just buckle down, take a few minutes of every day and read it, because I read every single day. So emotional, mental, I want to meditate at least once a day. She did send me, I said, if you have any guided meditations, if you guys have any guided meditation apps, etc., please let me know. I'd be happy to look into it. And then tarot pull once a day. And I told her, I was like, I want to kind of pull it, not only kind of learn more about the cards and what they mean, but also see if I discern that meaning throughout my day. Like if it says, something, and I've gone throughout my day and that is not what happened to me, I can kind of reflect on, okay, so does this card mean this for me, or does it mean this for me? And that's really about it. It's really not that deep. I do have some things that I want to use to keep a tarot journal. I actually bought a tarot journal. I bought a really basic deck off Amazon. So yeah, it's definitely something that I've felt pulled towards now for like 5 months, and I haven't done anything with it, and it's just time to rip the Band-Aid off. Also, I don't know if my grandmother has crossed over or if she is just waiting for me to get off my butt and do what she's pushing me to do. I haven't dreamt about her in a hot minute, and I used to dream about her at least a few times a week. And I know, because she told me, that it was because, you know, it was just her visiting me, and she hasn't visited in a while. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if this is her saying, Misty, you know, start meditating so I can talk to you, or if she's crossed over. And again, believe what you want to believe. That's what I believe. Okay, so that's emotional. For physical, I want to get in the pool at least 3 times a week. Is the pool bath water? Mm-hmm. Did I get in it last night? Mm-hmm. The issue that I have is that the muscle weakness is just out of bounds. And our pool steps are steep. They're really steep. I mean, the whole reason why I ended up having a laminectomy is because I slipped the disc when I was stepping down into our pool. So getting in and out of it is hard, and we haven't had the funds to redo it. So when we have it resurfaced, we're also going to add in a rail. Hopefully that'll make it a little easier for me to get in and out of it. But until then, it's kind of hard for me to get in and out of it. And after a long day of like filming, etc., or cooking, like I can't do all of it in the exact same day. So I told him, he's like, well, what are we going to do? I was like, I need to like, okay, today I want to get in the pool, so I'm going to limit what activity I do throughout the day. Yesterday I did absolutely nothing. Yeah, I got up and had therapy, and then I went to the dentist. Speaking of, my gums are back to healthy, and I am back to seeing her every 6 weeks. So yay for that. Anyway, so I didn't do anything yesterday because I knew that I wanted to get in the pool, and I can't do both. Like I just can't. So like today we'll skip it, or I will at least skip it. Rob may get in. And then tomorrow I know to kind of limit what I'm doing just a little bit. That way I can get in the pool and it not be such a drain on my body. So, yeah. Limit soda. I really want to limit soda. I've said that before. I said it last month, like 80%. And it's not, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday. I was like, and it's not even that aspartame is bad. She's like, what? I was like, well, I've seen several things that show that aspartame, you know, is actually not bad for you. And like she and I said, you can pretty much find evidence to report whatever you believe. But at the same time, I want off of as much as I can get. So I really want to limit that. And plus I drink carbonated water every day, so it's not like I really need soda. And I want to start limiting my caffeine intake to just the coffee every day. And I may even go back down to 3 times a week for that. I haven't quite decided yet how I'm going to handle that. It's a little bit different when I'm drinking hot coffee, but when I've made cold brew and it's in the refrigerator and it's taking up room and it's like, and it doesn't last forever, you know what I mean? It's like I need to, and the longer it sits in the refrigerator, the more strong it gets, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that's kind of, maybe that'll be September's goal. We'll talk about it then. But as of right now, I want to start limiting soda. And that was everything I had on my list for physical. So I don't know if I'll pick something else for physical. I think that's probably plenty for right now. If I get a wild hair up my butt and later in the month I'm like, hey, I want to try those too, then I will. But for right now, that's that. Financial. I created card kits. If you don't follow me, or if you have thought about you wanted to do like a new hobby or something, I've created these craft kits. One of them, you literally just need adhesive. Like you just need a glue stick, like an Elmer's glue stick, Elmer's glue. You know, you can use a tape runner, double-sided tape, whatever. And the other one is more involved, like coloring, etc. So I need to promote those because so many people said they were interested in them. But yeah. So I need to do that. And the second one is a no buy unless something is limited edition. And that's more like makeup. Like if an eyeshadow palette that I love, or one of my favorite companies releases an eyeshadow palette and it's limited edition, then I'll consider picking it up. But for the most part, I want to not spend any money this month on makeup. I also don't want to spend any money on craft items either. That one's going to be a little bit harder because we're getting close to my holiday card series. I know you're thinking, Misty, it's literally August 1st. I start my holiday card series on my Jolly Fit Elf channel the Wednesday after Labor Day. And I post 3 cards a week until Christmas Day. So, and I've been doing that now for 10 years, maybe 11 years, maybe 10 years, 9 years, 10 years. I've been doing it a long ass time. So that's kind of, like it's real, I'm like, ooh, but again, only if it's something that limited edition or only something that I know will sell out quick and they probably won't restock it before the holidays are over, then I'll give myself that opportunity for a couple of reasons. Most of them is because I want to get our guest bathroom done. So we've purchased all of the fixtures. We're using the same lighting that we already have. I bought the mirrors. We picked up the faucets. We have the vanity. I picked out the wallpaper. Like, we just need to get the wall paneling and then pick out a paint color and get a general contractor and a wallpaper guy out to do that guest bathroom. But can't do any of that until we get out of summer and our electric bill isn't $400, $500. Listen here. I don't understand how it was legal for Texas to double people's kilowatt price per hour, but it's bullshit. So last year we were paying like 6.3 cents a kilowatt hour, and we have like this. So if you didn't know, because I didn't grow up like this, in Texas we have like ERCOT or whatever that has the grid. Then we have Encore, who I believe sells electricity to these electric companies who then sell it to us, right? I believe that's how it worked. Growing up in Oklahoma, we had OG&E and then Indian Nations, but Indian Nation was like for Tulsa, not where I was. So when I moved down here and Rob's contract was up, he's like, yeah, we need to pick an electric company. I was like, what are you talking about? What in the fresh hell are you talking about? So last year when this happened, I went through and I searched all 50 or however many electric companies and their prices, and ours was still the lowest, and we're paying like 13.5 cents a kilowatt hour. Did I mention that we've been over 100 degrees now for like 22 or 23 days? Plus we have a pool, and we keep our house hot, hence why I have the fan on. We keep our house at 76 degrees. I know some of you are like, Misty, if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to afford our bills at all. I mean, $450 was the highest bill we've had since we lived in this house. And we've been in this house now almost 12 years. So it's rough. The highest before that was like $325, and that was like a really hard. Even last year, I think the highest was like $350. We'd never had one above that before. So it's expensive. So once we get out of the heat of summer, hopefully we'll be able to put more money towards getting our guest bathroom done. So we're starting with the guest bathroom. I also want to do the guest bedroom, but because when we bought this house almost 12 years ago. We put the offer in June something 2011. We moved in Labor Day weekend 2011. So we did the guest bathroom and the guest bedroom first, and we did them on a Boone's Hill budget. Let me tell you, I think I paid $50 for the headboard. That is a king size headboard, but it has a queen size bed in front of it. I spent like $15 on the nightstand. Like, I already had the mirrors, like everything in that craft room or in that guest bedroom, other than the light and the molding, was like really inexpensive. So it's time, I want to update it. I mean, I still have the artwork, you guys. Remember on Pinterest when it was like, where he lived, where she lived, and then where they lived together? Yeah, I still have that artwork in the guest bedroom. Like, we haven't touched it since we moved in almost 12 years ago. So I really want to redo it, kind of modern it up, freshen it up. Same thing for our guest bathroom. The vanity that we have is literally falling to pieces, and like, we need to have the plumbing fixed and stuff like that. And I was like, well, if we're going to do all that, why don't we just go ahead and take care of everything else that we want to get done? So I picked out wallpaper, and Rob's like, I'm like, just let me wallpaper. Okay. I said, just think of it this way, and I'll share with you guys the piece that I picked out. I was like, we don't have to paint. Like, I don't have to pick a paint color. We can just put it on the wall and go from there. So yeah, so there's that. So that's money, financial, etc. And then last but not least is relationships. I want to make sure that I make a card for my aunt. She sent us one in the mail, and I want to send one back. I want to keep up correspondence with her, try to write her at least once, maybe even every 2 weeks. We are going to spend holiday with them, so I'm excited about that, and I would love to see them, before that, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I want a date night with Rob. We haven't been doing that, and again, it's really going to depend on the temperature. I mean, we got in the pool last night, like at 7:30. We face east to west, so our front door is east, our back door is west. We have an 8-foot fence. So by 7-ish, the sun is no longer shining down on the pool. So we wait until then to get in the pool, so I don't have to reapply sunscreen or whatever. But, and I think it's the methotrexate, I'm started having heat sensitivity to that. So the minute I'm outside, no matter how warm it is, red. Face is red, I'm red, face is hot, I'm hot. So it's like, and it was this, again, it didn't happen when I was at the wedding because it wasn't too hot and I had taken a little handheld fan with me. But like just going this morning, yesterday morning to the dentist, it was hot, my face was hot, I was hot. So it's like I needed to cool down. So that might have to be something we do later in the month, but I definitely want to be able to go and do a date night with Rob. And then I have a family member that I want to make sure that I'm texting at least once or twice a week just to keep in touch. So yeah, so those are my intentions for the month of August. So not weighing in for the month just because I have to stop being fixated on that number. I see my regular doctor next week. The 16th I have 16th, 17th, 18th, whatever that Friday is. I have my facet injections, see the spine doctor at the end of the month. I think that's everything as far as like doctor wise. See the genetic counselor tomorrow, fingers crossed. I did see a couple of things on that report that make sense. One of them was MS. And you guys know I was tested for MS, but I was tested the one time back in 2017. I don't think I've been tested again. MS is something that is very hard to diagnose sometimes, but also if you guys remember, my rheumatoid arthritis didn't show up in the blood work until I had been diagnosed for almost 1.5 years. So I'm just letting it go, and luckily I will talk to them before I see my regular doctor and be like, hey, no, let's go again. It's been 6 years, let's start the whole process again. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. I am doing full day of eating vlogs. I picked up some keto chow. Now I haven't tried them before, mostly because I wasn't interested in drinking my calories, but they popped up on Facebook, and they have an introductory bundle for like $19.99, 6 packets plus the blender bottle plus free shipping, and I was like, I can't pass that up, so I paid $19.99. I think it'll be here tomorrow or the next day, so we'll give that a go and just see. I don't know if I'll be, because someone showed a picture of their bottle and it's huge mungus. I don't know if I'll be able to finish all of it. We'll see. We'll do a taste test and see about that. So yeah, anyway, that's it. I've been talking for a long damn time. Blood sugar's doing well. Put on a new sensor. I was chewing gum yesterday. So for those of you who watch my vlog, Missy, why is your number so elevated? I was chewing gum and I forgot that my body and xylitol don't react well together. So the Icebreakers gum, which is sugar-free, it also bumps me up. So yeah. All right, friends, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you. Feel free to leave me a comment. But again, if you don't agree with me, that's your right. But you don't have to leave me a shitty comment. You don't have to say, I'm never following you again. Just go in peace. Go in peace. All right, friends. Bye for now.